Well, today I will be spreading on the Indian economy and the situation our economy is passing through is the COVID-19. And all of you know that India is struggling and GDP growth is very low. And what should be the measures, appropriate measures to uplift the Indian economy to increase the GDP growth? And not only the growth, but also the conditions of the poor Indian people who lost their job during this pandemic. So the title on which I am going to present my lecture is the revival of the demand is necessary for the upliftment of the Indian economy. The provisional estimates of annual national income, okay, 2020-21, released on 31st May by the National Statistical Office, actually did not have any surprise. But for one, that is, there is nothing encouraging in the numbers. We came to know that the agriculture is playing a good role and manufacturing sector is lag behind. The manufacturing sector continued its subdued growth performance, failing to emerge as the growth driver with the production interruptions due to the pandemic situation. And some with some statistical information, I like to enrich my lecture. And here, the contraction in trade is minus 18.2%. And construction, there is a minus 8.6% fall. Manufacturing, minus 7.8%. It's a matter of concern, you know. These sectors account for the bulk of low-skilled jobs. GDP at constant prices of 2011-12 prices in fourth quarter of 2020-21 is showing a growth of 1.6%. This 1.6% is slightly better than expected, but for a period when the restrictions on the mobility and economic activity witnessed reduction. This performance looks below par. This growth, which is an improvement over the 0.5% rate of growth in the previous quarter, is nothing but statistical artifact, as it is not devoid of the base effect and seasonality which plagues quarterly estimates. Now, if you look the matter in another way with another variable, that is the macroeconomic variable, that is the unemployment, and From the study of Center of Monitoring Indian Economy, that is CMIE, that says that in May 2021, India's labor participation rate was 40%. It is same as it was in April 2021. But the point is here, the unemployment rate shot up to 11.9% from 8% in April. So what you're understanding from here? A stable labor participation rate combined with a higher unemployment rate implies a loss of jobs. It is clearly understandable. Stable labor participation rate combined with higher unemployment rate implies a loss of jobs and fall in the employment rate. Employment rate fell to 35.3% in May 2021 from 36.8% in April 2021. This is a very sharp fall for a single month. May 2021 was therefore a particularly stressful month on the jobs front. CMIE says that over 15 million jobs were lost in May 2021, higher than in November 2016, the month of demonetization. May 2021 was also the fourth consecutive month of a fall in employment. The more worrying fact is that, what is the more worrying fact? Unemployment is falling. So employment is falling. Unemployment is rising. But the worrying fact is that the cumulative fall in employment since January 2021, focus on this line, is 25.3 million, of which 22.7 million were in the first quarter of the financial year 2021-22. That is during April and May. Okay. So what we have found here? We have found here in simple sentences that there is a contraction in trade, construction falls, manufacturing sector falls, and with these sectors, low skilled jobs are associated, and as a result, people lost their job here in these sectors, and unemployment rate increases, employment rate falls. Now, this is the situation. Unemployment is increasing, employment is falling. You know, government has taken several steps, but the situation is that. Now, if you consider two indexes, BCI and PMI, that is the Business Confidence Index and the Purchasing Managers Index. The BCI from the survey by the industry body of FICCI plummeted to 15.5 from 74.2 in the previous round. And the survey also highlights that the weak demand conditions in the economy. Okay, weak demand conditions in the economy. So both BCI and PMI slipping down indicates that overall optimism towards 2021 2022 is low. Optimism is low on the basis of these two indexes, okay, which could impact investments and cause further job loss. This is a matter of concern. Here is the matter of concern. Confidence level of the companies is very low. And as there is a low in the confidence level of the companies, so naturally investment will be low. And what will be happening in the coming days? You know, if there is a fall in investment, then the output will fall, but less than the rate at which the investment falls. So this is the situation of our economy on today. Now, look at this. For better understanding, I represents this circular flow because as here you have an understanding, there is two sectors. One is household sectors. One is household sectors, another is farms. Okay. So household, you know, it is a simple economy, and household provides factors of production, land, labor, capital to the farms, and farm produces goods and services to the household. And as the factors of productions are provided by the household, farms provide household the, the wages for their labor, rent for the capital, and interest rate for the rent for the land and the interest for the capital, and also dividend to the household. And household spend their money in purchasing of goods and services provided by the farms. So in this way, a simple economy, the circular flow of income has been happening in an economy. Now, there are injections and there are leakages in this circular flow of income. The first is that the consumer expenditures, there are government expenditures, there are investments, there are exports. So if I write here investment plus government expenditure and plus export. Okay, so these three factors are there. These factors provide some money into the economy, inject money into the economy. And here is the here is a leakages. Here is the leakages from factors income. It is the, it is the savings. If there is a savings, the money is out of the system through savings, and there is taxes, and there is also imports. Okay, so there are three factors, and you can say these are the leakages. These are the leakages, and in this circular flow of money, money is going out. Now, if this I plus G plus E is equal with the S plus T plus M, then the macroeconomic equilibrium is there in the economy. Okay, and now suppose that this part, that is I plus G plus E, is greater than this S plus I, this S plus T plus M, then there is a growth in the economy. So if there is investment, there is a government expenditure, and there is a export, and money is injecting in the economy, the amount of money injecting in the economy is greater than the amount of money that is leaking, that is actually going out from the economy, from the circular flow of the income, then there is a growth, there is an increase in growth. But if this portion, that is the injection, that is the I plus G plus E, is less than S plus T plus M, then the growth rate falls. The growth rate falls. So the growth rate in our economy nowadays in the COVID-19 situation is decreasing. And the pandemic situation, all the sectors I have mentioned stopped their production, and as a result, I plus G plus E is less than the S plus T plus M. So this is a situation, this is a recession. And now I am considering another figure, another slide. Just a moment. Okay. The circular flow of income in an economy introducing government sector and rest of the world. Look, here two sectors I have included. One is rest of the world, another is government. Now, from household, money is going to farms. Okay, and in essence of that, farms provides goods and services, and from household, money goes to the rest of the world, and in essence of the household gets importable goods, and households provides money to government, as a tax. Okay. Farms provides government also taxes, and government farm provides money to the government as a taxes, and government provides money to the farms in excess of facilities, tax cut, and farms provides money to the household, and in excess of that, farms get factors of production from the household. And the rest of the world provides money to the farms, and in excess of farms provides exportable goods to the rest of the world. But if this is the situation, this is the circular flow of income in an economy where these four sectors are there. So in this pandemic situation, COVID-19 situation, the money that is providing the money that is provided by the household to the rest of the world, to the farms, to the government, has been declining, has been decreasing. And as a result, the system is there is a contraction in the system. Growth is falling. As I have mentioned that if there is an investment in the economy, there is an increase in the growth. But as there is a pandemic, there is a low demand. So there is a low confidence, and it is proved, as I have mentioned, that BCI, that's the Business Confidence Index, there is a lack of confidence. And companies do not like to invest at this moment. So this is the situation. Try to understand the situation. This is the situation, and so that, and also there is a problem, and the economy faces low growth in GDP. Now, here in the first slide, I have mentioned here that I plus G plus export X. Okay. So here the investment is falling, and this is a vital part for long run growth. And export is increasing nowadays. That is, the external demand is increasing, and I am focusing on this point. But now look at this slide. Okay, just a moment. Look, this is the Keynesian multiplier, change in income and change in investments. As there is a change in investment, there is a change in income. Okay, so this is the Keynesian multiplier, and it can be represented by the 1 minus del C by del Y. It is the marginal propensity to consume. And as there is a decrease in marginal propensity to consume, then change in income will be less. So investment affects income through consumption. As I have mentioned that as I as I have mentioned that the unemployment is related with the aggregate demand. Is related with the aggregate demand. So, so as it is known to us that the employment and aggregate demand is closely related, and there is a positive correlation between the aggregate demand and output. So employment plays a crucial role for the output growth. For the output growth. So without employment, how the output will increase? Because the investment will be less, because demand is less in the economy. Now, look at this. I have mentioned here in this slide is that the relationship between the employment and aggregate demand through disposable income. And there is a positive correlation between the aggregate demand, C plus G plus I, plus export minus import, and output growth. So growth recovery depends on demand recovery. Growth recovery depends on demand recovery. And if you consider this, C plus I, G plus I, and X minus M, this is the external demand. X minus M is the external demand, and C plus G plus I is the internal demand. External demand looks robust as India's exports touch $32 billion in May 2020, 67% higher than in May 2020 and 8% more than in May 2019. Global demand rebound is much faster than the domestic demand. As the confidence level is low, the business confidence index shows that companies do not like to invest their money. So I is low now. And here only is the government expenditure, and it should be the direct at the hand of the people. Money should be there, and they will create the demand in the economy, the domestic demand. Without focusing this domestic demand, it is not possible to survive the economy. Now, government policies are there, and that policies is very fruitful, but if you focus on those policies, then you can find all those measures are supply side oriented, and there is less direct actions from the government. There were some sector specific measures you can find, to alleviate the distress in certain sectors. The policy stance is unlikely to prop up growth. Why? It is mostly on the supply side measures, and stimulus packages would work only in the medium term. And also, government has taken a step, very important step, that is the credit fork. That is the main pillar of the policy, has a limits compared to any direct measure on the demand side, as this could result in the poor growth performance if the private investment do not pick up. If the private investment do not pick up, then government should focus on the spending. Direct benefit should go to the people, to the unemployed people, so that the domestic demand should be high. And as there is an increase in the external demand, there should be an increase in the internal demand. So, so growth, the GDP growth, it matters, all of it matters. But income of the unemployed persons who lost their job should be taken care of. And if it is possible, then it is very helpful to hike the domestic demand. And if there is an increase in the domestic demand as well as in the external demand, then the growth rate will be increasing. So this is the presentations from my side on the current situations of Indian economy, and I hope you have enjoyed this lecture, and thank you once again.